Today we're going to take a look at what's going on in tech news. Let's get to it. Escape from Tarkov, a popular online tactical shooter, has ignited a storm of controversy within the gaming community. On April 25th, developer Battlestate Games announced a new edition of the game called the Unheard Edition. This premium bundle, priced at a staggering $250, promised exclusive content including a co-op PvE mode and expanded market slots. However, it's the pay-to-win aspects that have players up in arms. Owners of the Unheard Edition were set to have an unfair advantage over the rest of the player base by way of some new features that are only available in the $250 package. But that's not the only reason fans were irate. There was another edition of the game released back in 2022 called the Edge of Darkness Edition, and that was $150. Part of that $150 purchase was the assurance that players would get access to all future DLC and season passes. The Edge of Darkness Edition was supposed to cover all upcoming content, including access to new modes like the Arena. But this newly announced Unheard Edition tried to add a loophole. It locked the new PvE mode behind the $250 price tag. When fans got upset by this move, Battlestate Games took to social media to try and justify the paywall, and unsurprisingly, ended up making things worse. They said that this PvE mode was a new feature, and that new features weren't DLC, hence the new version. But this only led to claims of bait-and-switch tactics and fraud. Amid all of this, a post on Reddit leaked an unpublished interview with the studio's COO where he said, "Let them change the side," when asked about his concern around fans of the game being upset with these new paywalled items and pay-to-win features. As you can imagine, Reddit threads and Discord channels were flooded with unhappy gamers over the weekend as a result. Fans feel betrayed, and Escape from Tarkov's promise of a fair gaming experience for all has been shattered. It'll be interesting to see if Battlestate Games can win gamers' trust back, but at this point, it's not looking good. Manor Lords, a medieval strategy city builder with large-scale tactical battles and deep economic systems, and one of Steam's most wishlisted games, launched into early access on April 26th and has already reached some significant milestones. Hooded Horse, the game's publisher, has been all over social media touting the accomplishments. First up, the game has broken concurrent player records for city builder games in the same genre. From the post, since yesterday's launch, Manor Lords has already sold over 1 million copies and hit a peak concurrent player count of over 170,000, highest ever for a city builder. The other milestone mentioned in the post is that the game has sold more than 1 million copies in just 24 hours, even with it being on PC Game Pass. This is a big deal for any game, but especially an indie game developed by just one person. Just one person. That's an incredible achievement in and of itself. Speaking of the PC Game Pass version, unsurprisingly, it's broken for a good number of players there, and the issue seems to be that they're unable to load save games, some pointing out that they've lost upwards of 4 hours of progress. We've mentioned this before, and we'll mention it again here. Loss of progress is one of the worst things that can happen to a gamer. According to the developer, this is a problem that's on Microsoft's side, and the workaround, which doesn't work for everyone, isn't pretty. Here's to hoping that Microsoft can fix yet another broken experience over on PC Game Pass, because gamers elsewhere are having a good time with the game. Maybe pick it up on Steam or GOG for now to avoid the PC Game Pass headaches. Microsoft's ID at Xbox April 2024 digital showcase happened on April 29th, and there were a lot of games shown. It was a mix of full games, betas, updates, and new to Game Pass games, all headed to Xbox and PC. These are just some of the games shown, and this list covers a lot of genres and game types, so there's a little something for everyone here. Here's a few that caught our eye. 33 Immortals is a co-op action roguelike for 33 players. Play a damned soul and rebel against God's final judgment. The game lets you dive straight into epic 33-player co-op battles with instant pickup and raid matchmaking. Co-op with 33 other damned souls to survive against hordes of monsters and massive challenging bosses. Commando's Origin is a return of the legendary real-time tactics franchise. This entry brings you back to the very first missions of the infamous World War II Special Unit. Take over control of Green Berets, Sapper and Company, learn how they originally met, and take on more than 10 missions from the barren Arctic to the African desert. All You Need Is Help is a co-op puzzle game, and we're hoping that it has couch co-op, because look at this game. It's like Tetris meets Snipper Clips with a dash of a few other games thrown in. This looks like couch co-op perfection to us. Stampede Racing is a 60-player battle royale Mario Kart meets Fall Guys looking game, and we loved what we saw in the trailer. It looks like absolute controlled chaos, which is exactly what you want to see in these massive battle royale games. It's no secret that we're huge Palworld fans here, so of course, the announcement that grabbed our attention most at the ID at Xbox event was the Palworld trailer. The only info that we get in the wording is that there's new pals being introduced, but if you pay attention to the video, you'll catch a new biome type, or perhaps just a new location, and at least 2 new weapons. We also have to appreciate that, true to form, not only do we get to see new pals and new weapons, but we get to see them interacting with one another, so to speak. The trailer itself isn't very long, and we suspect that there's quite a few Easter eggs that we haven't caught yet, but the end of the trailer shows you and a pal walking up to a small house-like building with a mailbox out front, and while this could just be a point of interest on a new map location, it could also imply that we're getting some new build items, or perhaps some new themed building items. Either way, we're back on the Palworld hype train, and can't wait for this to hit later this summer. Before we get to the rest of the video, I want to mention our Patreon. As a subscriber, you'll be listed as a producer of our content. You'll also get access to our custom game cover art that we've put together over the years. You'll likely see it in action in some of our videos. This art works great with custom launchers and really goes a long ways in making a digital game collection look awesome. So click on the link below, head on over to our Patreon, and become a producer today. Okay, back to the video. The highly anticipated Fallout 4 next-gen update dropped last week, along with some fans' happiness of the game after the update. The update promised things like ultra-wide support, bug fixes, and better gameplay overall. In reality, what players got was, well, a mess. Ultra-wide support is simply zoomed in and stretched instead of actual scaling, making it impossible for you to finish the intro of the game because you can't enter text. Another item is that even though Nvidia called out how Bethesda can address a long-standing physics issue, physics are still so broken that if you enable certain features with some Nvidia cards, the game is guaranteed to crash. There's no substantial bug fixes, and there's videos of major old bugs still existing here in the update. Access to Creation Club is missing in many people's main menus, and quality mode is missing in the console version. Here at Overload headquarters, we've been able to confirm most of these issues. We have a primary game rig that has a 32:9 monitor, and we're unable to get past the intro section of the game because we can't access the text field to name our character without some major workarounds. We don't see the Creation Club menu item in any of our installs, which means that if we want to access content that we've already paid for, we have to have it downloaded on another system from a pre-update install, and manually copy over all the missing content to the new install, because there's no way to do this on the new installs. Also, on a clean install, with the GeForce 4090, an Intel 13900K, and 32 gigs of RAM, we're experiencing black loading screens that take upwards of 5 minutes. We even made a spreadsheet to track the things that we did to try to get the screen tearing to stop over the course of 4 hours, and we were never able to get it to stop. For us and many others, not only is the update an absolute mess, but the game is quite literally unplayable now. We think this Steam review sums up the situation best. Bethesda. Bethesda never changes. In a stinging unendorsement of Fallout 4's next-gen update, 2 rollback mods have seen a combined total of 40,000 downloads since the update itself went live. Fallout 4 Downgrader and Steam Skip Next-Gen Update have seen nearly 20,000 and 18,000 downloads respectively in less than a week. The mods aren't without issue, and you likely won't be able to connect to Bethesda.net, but if you're in a situation like we are, where the game is quite literally unplayable on one of our machines, even after a clean install, this might be your only hope. The post sections of these mods are pretty active right now, and it looks like there's a lot of people hopping in to help one another, along with the mod creators themselves. Both mods involve running executables that you have to download, so as always, proceed with caution. On one hand, it's great to see the mod community once again stepping up to keep a game that people love playable. On the other hand, it's disappointing to once again see a big game studio release an update that puts thousands of gamers in a scenario where they now either have to rely on the mod community to make the game playable again, or wait for an update to the update. And people wonder why the angry gamer stereotype exists. Well, here's one reason. And finally, if you're a farming game fan, Steam has a sale for you. From now through May 6th, Steam is celebrating all things farming by way of Steam Farming Fest. It's a sale that focuses on games that have farming in them in some way, shape, or form, and maybe some fishing too? I've been to a fish farm, so that counts. The festival is celebrating farming by way of highlighting farming games with discounts, demos, or that have upcoming releases. During FarmFest, you can pick up the earlier mentioned Manor Lords for $10 off. And if you somehow still don't own Stardew Valley, you can take that $10 that you saved on Manor Lords and spend it on Stardew Valley. Seriously though, if you haven't played Stardew Valley, sit down with it for a few hours. It's absolutely worth $10. Also, don't forget to head over to the Points shop and pick up your free festival items for your Steam account. As always, we'll leave a link to the festival and Point shop items in the description and comments below. And that about wraps things up. Please like this video if you found it useful, and subscribe to our channel if you want more content like this. I appreciate you taking the time to watch this, and we'll chat again soon.